Welcome to this episode of Chalk Talk. Here we talk to a teacher about their teaching methods, their preparations for a class, and what they do in a classroom and beyond it. Our guest today is Professor Aloke Dutta, who is a professor of electrical engineering at IIT Kanpur and a distinguished teacher awardee of the institute. Alok, welcome to the Chalk Talk and thank you for accepting our invitation to share your views on teaching with us. Of course, a teacher's personality and demeanor plays a big role in how students engage with them. So we will also talk to you about what factors shaped you into becoming the kind of teacher you are. Before we begin our conversation, Alok, would you like to say something to our audience?
I would like to thank Professor Harbola, you, for inviting me to this episode of Chalk Talk. I think it is a big privilege for me to be here. And whatever I can say to make this program successful, I'll try my best about that. And I would also like to say I will make a few points which may come during the conversation itself regarding how teaching evolved over the years and what did I do to make it a little different or special could be for the students to absorb. And that is why the students might have accepted me as a good communicator and conveyor of knowledge. So with this, I thank you very much for inviting me to this talk and we can start rolling. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. So we now begin by hearing from you about your younger days in this section which we call growing up. So would really like you to tell us a bit about growing up with a focus on your education.
Sure. I actually started in a Bengali medium school and continued in that school for class 10 and class 12. Then I got into Jadavpur University, joint entrance examination, West Bengal, in electrical engineering department. And then 78 to 82, I was there. In 82, I graduated. After that, I thought I should try out industry. So I joined Engineers India Limited as a management trainee. And I worked there for a year and a half. During working, I felt that maybe that is not the right avenue I've chosen for my life. So I started applying also abroad, and then I got an LSU offer for PhD in electrical engineering in 83. In 84, I joined in January LSU for my PhD program, and in 89, I graduated, and then came here in 1990 as an assistant professor. So I right now have completed a big chunk of 35 and a half years of my life here. So yeah, it is a second home for me.
Oh, excellent. So teaching obviously was not the first choice that you chose right after your graduation.
No.
But nonetheless, you did go into it and you were kind of influenced by some people to go into it. So what we would like to know about your younger days is there must have been somebody, some maybe classmates, some friends to whom you explained things and maybe enjoyed it, or they explain things to you and you like to play with them like that. So would you like to say something about that?
Yeah. This point I would like to highlight. I think it is a very good point, that how did I get involved in this area. When I was growing up in my school, that time we used to chat among friends about various things. And that time my friends would say, look, you explain things well. And that time it struck me that maybe the way I communicate with people, maybe it's slightly different. My friend said that whenever they had a difficulty, they used to go to a lot of people. But after coming to me, they got a little bit better idea. And then some of my relatives and also my locality, the elders, they said, Alok, why don't you start teaching younger kids? So I said, why not? So in class 10, I started my first teaching career.
Oh.
Teaching a class 5 girl mathematics and physical science, I think that time it was called, for 3 days a week. And my salary was 50 rupees. I'm talking about 1975.
Okay.
And then, but I somehow liked it, and the girl's parents said, Alok, you should teach more more students, because of course there is some improvement in my girl. So I said, no, not right now. So then I moved on to class 11, 12, and then I started teaching 9, 10 students. And that was quite a bit because they're almost just 1 to 2 years junior to me. Really flourished when I was in Jadavpur. That time I was to keep on getting offers. And throughout 4 years in Jadavpur, I used to continuously be a tutor. And a point came when I was teaching 3 students simultaneously, 3 days a week, science subjects. And if I can say so without offending anyone, that my salary at that time was 450 rupees per month just from tuition. And mind you, it was talking about 78 to 82. And that time 450 rupees was huge money. I started it for fun, but I found that as a source of my revenue, and it used to take care of my pocket money. I had some bad habits, you know that very well. So, and my financing was kind of done by my pocket money, and my parents didn't bother about that. They said, if you are doing studies well, then well, you can take care of yourself, things like that. So that started, and then I went to Jadavpur. And when I went to Jadavpur and I looked at some of our teachers, I mean, they were amazing. 3 names come to my mind: Shomunath Banerjee, Sujay Bose, and Shanoj Pal. Shanoj Pal was doing PhD simultaneously, and we almost became friends. The amount of chatter we used to have, like just 2 colleagues and sitting out, 2 friends sitting and talking, and they used to teach fantastic. But ultimate was my advisor in LSU, who was my PhD guide, Dr. Pratul Ajmera. I mean, really, I was amazed by the human being he was, by the teacher he was, by the guide he was. I said, if I can become even 10% like him, I'll be very happy. And he is very, very old now, and I'm not sure he will be able to see this if it is telecast. But I was deeply touched by his overall. My growing up phase during PhD was completely molded by Pratul Ajmera. And I keep him in high esteem, and I said, this is the thing I would like to pursue. And that is why I picked up academics as possibly my goal.
Wonderful.
Sorry, I might have overrun a
No,
little
that's all right. Wonderful to hear that. I mean, we want to you to share those experiences.
I just opened my heart.
As we said, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you talked about 4 teachers that you have had who had influence on you, and what influence did you kind of saw that maybe I want to become like that? I want to be. You talked about your advisor, who you said that he was a very good human being.
Yeah.
Maybe he mentored you well.
Yeah.
But you also talked about 3 persons from your earlier days.
Yes.
And you, despite that, you joined the industry. Maybe they were playing in your mind when you decided to take teaching as a profession. But what part of their personality, or what influenced you? There was one PhD student who obviously you connected with much more, but maybe other influences were there.
The main influence was their teaching ability, the way they used to convey the information, and more importantly, the way they used to connect to the students. And see, there used to be a saying, not used to be, there is a saying that respect cannot be asked for, respect has to be earned. And these 4 people really earned my respect. I said, they were towering figures. And I said, my God, these are amazing human beings. And so, yeah, both are complementary of each other.
Okay.
Your educational thing, one part, and the second thing is how you connect with that person. Okay. So I think that influenced me. And I thought if I ever become a conveyor of information, which a teacher does, then I should first thing do is connect with whom I am teaching with. Yeah.
Fantastic. So I'm going to ask a slightly negative question
Yes,
now.
yes.
You see, you are also
Yeah.
influenced by people who do not do a good job. You kind of think, maybe I'll not become like that. This is so, I almost slipped off the right track.
Yes.
Do you recall any persons who affected you that way?
Oh yeah. Tell me about it. I mean, previous question of yours, I answered in a positive direction. But yes, I have seen the worst also. Can I speak freely?
Sure. Yeah, that's what we're here for.
And in Jadavpur, we had teachers sitting in the class for 55 minutes was a real pain. And I used to say that if at all I become a teacher ever in my life, I will definitely not do what they are doing. Sorry, I'm extremely blunt. And one particular course I can talk about, electronic circuits, which my bread and butter.
Yes.
Okay? And in the electronic circuit course, this faculty used to come and write equations after equations after equations after equations. It was mind-boggling, and people used to faint in class, literally. And I said, oh my God, electronic circuit is so tough, I'll never ever go to electronics. But then I really started learning electronics when I went to LSU. Other extreme.
Right.
Pratul Ajmera and Barkuner, Lucien Rucker. Another two names I forgot to mention. Barkuner and Lucien Rucker were electronic circuit magicians. They used to really do magic with electronic circuits. And seeing my interest, they used to take me to the lab and let me play with things. They said, if you want to learn things, you have to play with it.
So you wanted to be magicians like those?
Not magician, but definitely a little bit different, so that students get a practical feel. So when I teach, I actually give them a lot of practical exposure. That what am I teaching? How is it affecting their daily life? In where it is used? Because when you do that, you have an instant connection. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So we've covered your high school days,
Okay.
we've covered your BTech,
Okay.
we've covered your PhD, and now we come to your IIT Kanpur days.
Okay.
So you must have been quite excited and maybe a little bit of nervousness when you joined here.
Yes.
And you joined, you said, in 89?
Yeah. No, I joined in 90 June.
90 June,
Yeah.
okay. So you joined in 90 June. What attracted you to IIT Kanpur?
Name. Actually, when I was wrapping up my PhD in late 89, then I started applying. But frankly speaking, I was not getting in top schools. And then at that time, there was a huge crisis about visa problems and etc. And America was going through a recession. I'm talking about 89, 90. And they said the main problem with you is your visa status. Right now, getting an H-1B or a green card is absolutely out of question. So a lot of places I got positive vibe, but when the HR person called me and asked, what is your visa status? And I said, F1, immediately. He said, we cannot pursue anymore. Then at that time, IIT Kanpur advertisement came in Spectrum. So my
Spectrum was a
Spectrum magazine, IEEE Spectrum.
Okay.
Yeah, IEEE Spectrum.
Okay.
So this IEEE Spectrum magazine had an advertisement of IIT Kanpur, and I said, why not? Because IIT Kanpur, I knew it was a very, very big thing. And then I talked to my advisor, Pratul Ajmera. I said, oh my God, is it IIT Kanpur? Immediately.
So we had that reputation
Yes.
with attracted people. Yes.
Sorry. He, in LSU, I can say IIT Kanpur had a huge reputation.
Okay.
They said IIT Kanpur is the best IIT in India. I'm talking about 82.
Great to hear that.
Yeah, even I was extremely happy to hear that, though at that time I didn't even have the job. And then phone call came. Phone call came after I applied, about 3-4 weeks after that. Professor Viswanathan Chair, which was the head of the Department of EE, called me. Dead night, because it was noon here.
And E in particular had a very good name from IIT. Right?
Absolutely. We had gems sitting there. And then Viswanathan Chair called. It was very late night because it was noon time here. And said, Aloke, I said, yes. He said, I'm Viswanathan Chair, head of the department. I was sleeping at that time. I just stood up. I said, okay. He said, are you serious? I said, about what? He said, are you serious about coming back? I said, definitely, otherwise why should I apply? Okay, fine, we'll think about it. And he cut the phone.
Yeah,
I said, that
was also very expensive at that time.
yeah,
so.
that was quite dramatic,
Yes.
the way he started and the way he ended. And then kind of everything, it was happening near about July, August, 89. That time I haven't even defended.
Yes.
Oh, another question he asked, when did you defending your thesis? I said, November, December. He said, okay, we'll get back to you. November he called back, and just after defense, I think. He said, is your defense over? I said, yes. Then I said, okay, our process is over, and we are ready to offer you a job, but we would like to know whether you will really come or not. I didn't know what to say, because it was overwhelming. And I said, can I just take one more day? Because I need to talk to my God. Who is my God? My advisor.
Yes.
So I went to my God next day and said, Professor Ajmera, he said, my God. And you used a profanity and said, if I were you, I wouldn't even think twice. Even at this stage of my life, I'll jump to an IIT Kanpur job. And he said, when you go there and join, please get a job for me too.
Oh. So,
But at the same time, he warned me. You said about whether I was nervous. Yes, I was very, because I was you won't believe that. I was the 49th faculty member
okay.
in IIT Kanpur Electrical Engineering Department. 49th. Imagine how big the department was.
Yes, it was very big.
1990, I'm
Yes,
talking about.
absolutely.
He said, my God, Alok, you will be dealing with 48 colleagues. Be very careful. And they're all big shots. I said, yeah, of course.
And you would be about, what, approaching 30?
29 and a
years.
half. Yeah, 29 and a half. Possibly R Viswanathan called me again after my thesis defense was over, mid-December. And he said that we are very excited to welcome you. Professor Biswas, RNB,
Yes, RNB, everybody
world
knows
famous
RNB.
RNB. And that time I first talked to him on phone, and he said, we are very glad, but you have to tell me honestly, as your Ronenda, that when will you be able to join? I want a
They
clear
were really
answer.
keen on getting you.
Yes, they wanted to be double sure that I will join, so that they don't waste that time of not recruiting another.
It's also very good to hear that IIT Kanpur was approaching people like this.
Very much, very much. It happened. 93, Ronenda had a very nice recruitment. There were about 7 to 10 people joined during that time, and everybody after they came here said RNB was to call them again and again and again.
Wonderful,
Anyway, yeah. So he said, because we have to keep your position open, because that time LSU had already given me a temporary faculty job.
Right.
Alan Marshak, our head of the department, he used to really like me for some reason. And he said, till you get a job, I'm there for you. And when he heard that I've got a job in IIT Kanpur, he said, I'm so very happy for you, but I've already got a job for you here till June, so you have to stay. I said, fine. That is why I joined in June, because I was finished in December 89.
Right.
But I actually came in June 90, because those 6 months I had to be there as a faculty.
So June 90 means you must have started teaching right in that July semester.
No. Yeah, I was not allowed to.
Oh, you're not allowed
No.
to. What were you asked to do then?
No, that's what I'm saying. I was not allowed to teach at all. So in the course,
Not allowed to, or was it?
okay, but let me rephrase. Okay, well, teaching assignment came in mail. That time email was also very few and far between. I don't think email was even there. 89. I'm losing track because so long. But it was all postal mail. So teaching assignment came, and lots of courses, and circling. You have to circle which one. So I circled, and again Viswanathan called. It was around March. He said, you have circled only courses. I said, that's what I'm supposed to do, right? He said, no, you are a fresher. How can you teach? First, you have to know whether you can teach.
Oh my God.
I said, oh my God. Then what should I do? He said, you have to be a tutor and lab instructor first.
That is very good. That's part of your training and mentoring.
4 semesters.
Oh, very nice.
4
very
semesters,
nice.
no course allotted. You will be only tutor. You will be only a lab instructor. A lab instructor means lab tutor, not the main lab instructor. Because
Get
you have,
used to the system, learn about it.
Yes, and it takes 2 years. Actually, they did not need me at that time to teach courses, because Professor Hassan, Professor Kar, Professor Sharan, Professor Tyagi, electronics was flourishing with stalwarts.
But you were going to learn from them.
Exactly.
Yes.
They said, these guys will be teaching the courses, sit in their courses, see how they teach. And then when we see that you are capable, then we will allot you a course. And the first course came 2 years after.
But they did see the capabilities. That's why they offered you the job. But they wanted to train you probably.
Can I brag myself a little bit? One of the tutorial assessment I got a score of 3.7.
Okay.
And there was a huge dhamaka in department. I did not know what that meant,
Right.
literally.
Yeah.
But this is my Avinash Joshi in faculty meeting said, I want to proudly say that Alok has got a rating of 3.7 in tutorial. I said, what does it mean? He said 3.7 is a very high rating. So yeah, you are capable of teaching now. Yeah. So after 2 years in 92 fall, I started teaching courses.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, this is a very nice story. And what one would like to know, that you came, you heard about IIT Kanpur. Obviously, as a student, you also knew there's something called JEE, and students who come are very bright and
Yes.
all that.
Yes.
So as a tutor in the first class, and then you took your course as an instructor, what was your experience like in your first lecture or first course as a tutor? You got 3.7, obviously you did very well, but how did you start? What are you feeling?
Tutorship was less intimidating, I will think, because I had to prepare myself very well for the tutorial. I used to go to the tutorial sheet again and again.
Did you attend lectures?
Yes.
Okay, you
That
did.
was, by the way, that was not an option during that time.
Okay.
That was not an option.
So you said it was not an option whether you attended lecture or not, you had to. But did you also feel that if you attended, it will prepare you well? Did you enjoy attending those lectures? Did you learn from it? And did it help you in giving a better tutorial?
Definitely. Because these courses were taught by people who were extremely reputed in their area. And when I was sitting in those courses, I learned a lot of new things. And also I learned how to, R&B, for example, he was a magician himself. I mean, the way he used to teach, everything was so...
You seem to be surrounded by magicians in teaching.
Absolutely. What do you think? I mean, I used
And
to...
then you became a magician yourself.
Oh, no, not even there, joker. But anyway, when I used to look at Ranendra teaching, and I said, oh my God. I used to see a vivid replica of Ajmera. I mean, I said, oh my God, as if there is a time shift. Ajmera has come here after 2 years, and again in form of Ranen Biswas, he's teaching Raghubi Sharan, another M.M. Hassan, Shamuresh Kaur, Tyagi.
Tyagi, yes.
Tyagi wrote a famous book, and I proofread that. I'm very proud of that achievement. I just joined, and he gave me a manuscript and said, "Look, proofread. This is your job for next 2 years." I said, "Oh my God, big manuscript." And that book, I have a contribution. I feel very sad he did not even acknowledge me.
That should have been.
On the lighter side, Professor Tyagi has passed away.
But this is something you say which is very important, particularly for our younger colleagues who have recently joined IIT Kanpur, how it is very important to attend lectures when you are a tutor, number one. Number two, this tradition that was there that you were given a course to teach after you tutored for about 3 to 4 semesters. That mentored you. In fact, recently we had a academic group meeting which in Directors Council, and many faculty members who are alumni, they were saying that it is important to get that kind of mentorship initially. So which reinforces what you say.
Absolutely.
So you've come here, you've given your class, you've been mentored and all that, and you got trained,
Yes.
and you developed into a very nice teacher. That's why you recognize as a distinguished teacher. So, but when we were talking earlier, and you said that we teachers are performers, and the classroom is actually our stage, right? Let's discuss that a bit more, because that's I think when you say you're a performer, I recall Feynman who used to say he performs in the class, right? So when you prepare for a class, in the morning you gotten up, had your coffee and everything, and the vice that you had that also. But in any case, how do you, as a performer, present yourself as a person? I'm not talking about as teacher, as a person. When you're a performer, you have to look good on the stage. How do you prepare? How do you kind of tell yourself, this is how I'm going to look, this is how I'm going to be there in the classroom?
Difficult question, definitely. Performing becoming more important now. When I joined, performing was not that important, because student attitude towards learning had seen a sea change over the years. Particularly, I will say post-corona. There, when I used to go to class, my knees used to tremble. You said how scared you are. Very scared. When I went to the first tutorial, I was not even able to speak. I was choking because my throat was absolutely dry. Because I said, these are best of India sitting in front of me. And students used to take pride. They are the best of India. And he said, do not,
And they made sure probably that they remain best.
Yes, and that is why. And I'm going back a little bit. You said attending tutorial, it helps you another way, that attending classes rather. When you attend classes, you already are 90% prepared for your tutorial. Yes. Because tutorial is based on those classes. Yes. So my preparation time for tutorial is almost not there, because I used to know exactly what are the tutorial solutions. Yes. Because I have attended the class.
And you also read instructor's mind in the meantime.
Exactly. So, but over the years, I'm seeing the interest of the students in the learning process itself. Please don't take offense. I'm again speaking
No.
my
We are all facing it. We are teachers.
Is rapidly declining. Yes. And after 2020, after Corona, after this online teaching thing started, it is completely ruined. It is slowly taking shape, it is again having an upward swing, but it is not going back to that level. Not yet. That is why being a performer now is very important.
You catch the eyeballs.
Exactly. Now that I just learned a few few months back, that currently our average attention span is 7 seconds. I do not know.
7 seconds?
Yes.
I thought it would be measured in minutes.
No, minutes of, those were past history. Now, if anybody's attention span is 7 seconds, look how much time you spend on a TV channel. You have a remote in your hand, tuck, 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 gone. I mean, you do not even see what the hell is going on. Sorry, excuse my language. But, if you are not paying attention, then obviously you are not absorbing it. They say, endless scrolling. I do not do that because I do not have any social media presence. But this scrolling means you are keeping on and it never ends.
Yes.
Scrolling never ends. And there's a doomsday scrolling. So now to keep, I typically teach second year, third year. I take one UG course. That's a must because I love interacting with UGs.
Absolutely.
That is our blood.
That's a lot of fun. Yes.
Once I interact with young people, I feel young myself, even at this age. So I tell our head of the department, please give me one UG course in one semester. Other semester, I'll teach a PG. And labs, of course, tutorials, etc. And when they see UG class, 150, 200 students sitting there with 400 eyeballs looking at me, I said, oh my God, first class event today is very scary. Event today, very, very scary. And another point is, in the first class is a make or break class. Either you will make the course or it will break the course. So first class is very critical.
I'm really glad you're saying that because I was going to ask you this. Even today, when I go to the class, first, second, third, 2, 3 classes, I'm very nervous.
Yes.
Because that's where you try to strike a chord with the students.
Exactly.
And you said that that's a make or break class.
Yes.
So how do you prepare yourself? I know your knees are shaking, my knees shake, but how do you prepare to make that connection? What do you do especially?
Lots of things happen in the background, by the way. First thing is time management is very, very important. That typically I try to be in the classroom couple of minutes before the bell rings. That is very important because if they feel that bell has rang, Aloke Dutta is not there, that means something major has happened to him. That kind of feeling, that inculcates discipline.
In a way, you're there to welcome them.
Exactly. Not only that, they know if my teacher, some of them feel ashamed that teacher is there before me. So they try to make it before me.
Uh-huh.
So that way, when I enter, most of the class is already there. Now, if you are perpetually late, it will never happen. They will also take sweet time. Second thing is how you dress. That matters. I'm not saying that you dress in a fantastic, but you should have a professional appeal in your dress. Yeah, casual, but not too casual. Well, I do not want to be too specific.
You look decently dressed.
Decently dressed. Yeah, you do not have to, dress up in high, expensive suits or no, not like that. But it has to be professionally dressed. I cannot
to convey a meaning that you're serious
Yes,
about the profession.
yes.
Okay?
That is second part. Third part is the way you talk. The way you talk, the way you voice modulate, the way you stress, the way you move your eyeballs and look. My boss, Jumera, used to say, when you're teaching a class, never make eye contact. They will scare you, So don't make eye contact, which actually I don't do. I do eye contact.
Okay.
Because eye contact tells me a lot. The way eyes twitch, the tweak, the sparkle, all these things change the way I am performing. And I know if I have to keep their attention, of course, 200 students, all of them I cannot track. So, but it kind of floating.
Convey. That I am paying attention to you.
And right now, the fourth thing, which is very, very important, which is kind of not there anymore because we are moving towards slideshow. Previously, it was board work.
Right.
And that time, how you walk in the podium, oh my God, that matters a lot. You should have a confident, demeanor.
Right.
That they think this guy knows what he's talking about. And never ever try to answer a question whose answer you are not sure about. You say, I can tell you the answer, this could possibly be the answer, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll look it up and tell you in the next class. If you tell them a wrong thing right now in Google era, they can catch it just like that. And that will make your respect totally.
Even otherwise, bright students always catch you that something is inconsistent. So tell me on that note, some days you go to a lecture and it's not going well. You're not coherent. You miss that minus sign and then you feel disturbed. You cannot convey something properly.
Yes.
You are not doing a derivation properly and the
Yes.
problems you get stuck.
Yes.
So do you think it's okay as a teacher that you look vulnerable at times, you show that I'm weak, maybe at times I can fumble, or should you always be looking like you are in control of the whole thing?
It's another very, very nice question. You should look vulnerable. You should look vulnerable because no human being is picture perfect. Cannot be. And when you are showing your vulnerability, you're actually not showing your weakness at all. You are actually becoming highly respected by the student body.
Oh,
That
you have
these,
felt that?
I feel that. I feel that myself. I may be
But
totally
did you
wrong.
experience it in a class?
I have done it so many times. What you said, I fumbled. I made wrong
Like
derivation.
all of us do, yes.
And I thought, oh my God, what the hell I'm
And
doing?
when we're talking about how to handle that fumbleness.
And particularly, even at this stage of my life, I face questions, answers I don't know. I immediately say, my God, this is a wonderful question, but unfortunately, I don't know the answer. I mean, my
But
God.
I'll go
Yes.
work it out and come back. to you.
Next day, you must tell the answer, because if you don't, then they will lose respect, because you have to dig it out. And also, I think it is a good thing that they are asking you a question and you don't know the answer. That is making your knowledge addition to you yourself also.
At the same time, you're conveying
At the same
that I'm
time.
vulnerable, but I'm willing to work on it
Yes.
and come out of it.
Exactly. And over the years,
Yes.
these questions to which you say, I don't know, will go down.
Yes.
Because every semester you're increasing your vocabulary.
Yes, absolutely.
So, that's that way, it's an advantage for both.
Yes.
The students know the answer and you becoming like a person, students say, oh my God, he knows the answer to all the questions. Yeah, but that didn't happen overnight.
Right.
That happened because of you,
Yes,
because of the
absolutely,
students.
absolutely.
The questions they asked.
You're also serious about the students. their
Exactly,
questions, yes.
exactly. So, yeah.
So tell me one thing. I mean, we'll talk.
Can
about,
I interrupt? Just
Sure, sure.
You said another preparation. You have to be very thorough about what you're going to talk about. If you just, you have no idea about what the thing you're going to discuss, then sometimes you'll become very incoherent. And that time the class does not flow well.
So if I can just put words in your mouth, if you are giving X amount, maybe you should know 2X or 3X, and you should look like, you're holding back and you're giving only X.
Yes. And also you should kind of foresee what kind of possible queries may possibly come. If you were, I always put myself in the student's
So
chair.
that's part of the preparation for the
Yes,
class.
and I say if I were a student and I am hearing this, what possible questions can come to my mind? And I will usse jawab bhi, even outside that questions come. But most questions you know the answer, and also you try to be up to date in the subject you are teaching. That is another very crucial thing.
So I think that's where we as researchers also,
yes,
that helps.
yes,
You're a
very much.
researcher, then you're up to date on
Yeah.
things. Maybe you can incorporate some of those in your classroom.
Exactly, because if you are saying something which are dated, then people will feel that you are not really keeping yourself up to date. That is not a good thing.
That's
so,
not a good
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So tell me, how do you keep, you talked about attention going down, attention span going down, the students not interested. So how do you keep the class engaged? How do you get them involved? You're a distinguished teacher awardee, you must be doing something that keeps them engaged.
Not easy.
Of course not easy.
Not easy at all. Not easy at all, and it's becoming progressively tougher as days are progressing. So what I recently I have devised, I used to use it earlier also, but now I use it more. To keep the students engaged, keep asking them questions. I always do that.
And you're making eye contact with different
Eye
students,
contact.
and then you're asking
But
questions.
I'm not asking questions to A, B, C. No, general questions.
General question.
And some of them who can answer feel proud, and others who are not knowing the answer, they will be alert for the next question to come.
Right. Something is coming.
Yes, something is coming. Definitely, Ekati is going to ask something very soon. So this kind of makes them mentally prepared. I can see that difference.
Right.
The more questions you ask, and I said, if you are with me, I said involve. Can I say a saying?
Sure.
My first class, I always say now, last maybe 2-3 semesters, because I came to know it recently myself. Benjamin Franklin had a very famous saying. He said 3 lines. I think all of you know. Is one of them. The first line is, "You tell me, and I forget. You tell me, and I forget.
Yeah.
You teach me, and I remember. You teach me, and I remember." Third line is most pithy. "You involve me, and I learn."
Wow.
You involve me, and I learn. And when I see these first 3 lines in my first class, I see a remarkable change in the student body.
So that leads to my next question.
It
then.
comes in my review also.
Okay, that's
In the first class, you told that you involve me and I learn. I cannot thank you much for that. So, it is so important to get involved. Of course, only good students write those. Others don't have time to do
those
that.
who care. But
Yeah,
you're
those-
also
those
pitching
who
for
care.
them. So the question I have now is, good students always do that.
Yes.
But now they learn in the classroom. But how do they remain motivated to do your assignments, go back to the hostel and learn? So that motivation part, how do they continue beyond the classroom? And that is a big problem for a lot of teachers. And you obviously motivating them enough to do it well. How do you motivate them that make sure that they're involved in the classroom, they've learned? How do they continue this beyond the classroom?
Lacking now. It is definitely lacking now. Previously, I would say in a class, 20-30% will be absolute top class. Means whatever questions you give them in exam, quiz, whatever, 80-90% will be nothing for them. But right now, even getting 50-60% for even the toppers are not easy. So that tells me, where are we heading to? It is scary, Manoj. Definitely, it is very scary for me. That where are we heading to?
So what do you
where are
think
the
is-
cream going?
So what do you think right now we should be doing to keep them
I
motivated?
don't
Do you
know.
have any ideas?
I wish I had some answers to that. I really don't have any
So maybe
idea.
we should keep talking to each other and do something.
That's what I think you are doing in Certix. I mean, it is a very novel initiative, and I wish it the very best.
Thank you very much for that.
Yes.
That
And
you
you are doing
recognize
a
that.
wonderful job. I mean, I see how much proactiveness is involved in doing all these things. It takes a lot of effort. And I thank you and the entire staff of Certix for doing that.
Team. Our
Yeah,
team is
the
very
whole,
good.
the entire team. I mean, this is a fantastic effort. And I feel myself very privileged that you have called me and spending time
it's
with
our
me
honor. Our
for
honor is
this
ours.
conversation, which is a very big thing for me. It is a very pride and honor for me. Anyway,
No, so you've been a wonderful teacher. The kind of thinking you're doing for the classroom, the kind of involvement you have, that's really very impressive. And you're saying even at this age you ask for an undergraduate teaching, and undergraduate classes are growing so big.
that keeps me alive.
That keeps institute and those kids happy, I guess.
I don't know happy or not, but that keeps me alive, interacting with the students.
I'm going to recall something very interesting.
Okay.
And you and I, long ago, used to do this JEE grading
Oh.
together. And my God, what a fast and accurate grader you were. And how did you do that? I mean, that was really very interesting. And the follow-up would be that, teaching an undergraduate class means you have to grade a mid-sem of 150 students and end-sem. How do you maintain that patience and enthusiasm for grading on even today?
Frankly speaking, the grading part is becoming tougher and tougher as I'm becoming older and older. That is for sure. About
But you're doing
grading,
it.
about JEE grading, you are talking about myself. What about you? You were one of the best and fastest grader in JEE, and I have worked with you in JEE. I knew the way you graded and how good a teacher you are. That is also very well known in campus. You are very well regarded and respected by the student body. Anyway, how do I keep my motivation alive? Tough question to answer. I do not know. But yeah, whatever I do. My father used to say that whatever you do, give 100% to it. And never let
Whether it's grading or
whatever you do. And never let anybody feel that Babul was my pet name. That Babul has not given his everything in this. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. Even the smallest thing, do it in such a way your life depends on it. I
Oh,
think
you certainly have. I mean, you're taught so well.
I have tried. No, teaching is one part of it, but even other things, whatever I do, I try to give the full effort because ऊपर कुछ नहीं होता. And another thing I tell students all the time, right, that nothing happens automatically. If you think you will put no effort and get out with an A star or A, होता नहीं है. You have to put effort to achieve anything. So if you put effort, you will of course be rewarded. And you are a student. Your main motivation should be learning things for your own betterment. And here, where so many teachers, we are trying our very best to make you learn new things, Another way to keep them motivated in learning process, because these questions are lingering in my mind, is give them lots of practical example. I think we have already mentioned. Also tell them about the stories of the area which you are teaching, how it evolved over the years.
Anecdotal or
Anecdotal, your personal anecdote. Oh, they love it, because my life is full of these comic stories. And another thing is how your technology evolved over. And fortunately, I'm teaching in an area, even physics is an ever-evolving area. Electrical engineering, microelectronics particularly, ever-evolving area. So every day something new is happening. So when you tell them the developmental story, for example, I'm telling one example of minimum feature size, like the chip.
Right.
The IC chip you have, hardly 100, like LSI, VLSI, all these stuffs you must be knowing. When the chips came, 10 to 100 devices were there. Right now it's billion plus.
Yes.
How did it happen? It happens because the
Evolved.
feature size went down from 10 micron to 1 nanometer. Now, when you say it went down from 10 micron to 1 nanometer, that itself is a mind-boggling number. 1 nanometer?
Yes.
1 nanometer you're talking, are you saying it right? Things like that. So when you go from 10 micron to 1 nanometer, you can imagine how much expansion happened in the chip.
Yes.
So mind-boggling.
Very, very nice. So we talked about, student interest going down, a teacher working very hard to keep them going. So as a teacher who has taken a lot of interest in teaching as well as these other aspects, what do you think is the role of teacher? Is it diminishing in students' learning, or do they not care? Could you also relate it to which way we are heading as an institute, as places of learning and education in general?
Big query. This is a big question. I don't have the answer. I do not know where you are heading. I'm telling you, previously when I used to teach undergraduate class, please don't take it as bragging. Okay?
No,
please,
it's a free discussion and it's learning for everybody.
When I used to teach undergraduate class earlier, then initially, of course, everybody comes, but then used to taper off. After tapering off, my class strength used to be 80 to 85%, which used to be a story in our department. That Aloke's class, even in the 30th lecture, 80% students attended, which even that time hota nahi tha.
Uh-huh.
And I think over the years, I've become a very, very bad teacher, because OJ exponential drop starts, that way goes down to 50% to 60% and does not reach 80% towards the end of the class, which means 50% students in an undergraduate class think they can forego lecture. Though I tell that if you stay in my lecture and be involved, do not have to do study, because you know everything in the class itself, because you have analyzed in your head.
So even a teacher like you is having trouble keeping students.
Well, I do not, I'm not a teacher like you.
A lot of us face that.
Yeah, but pehle, there used to be huge attendance, but now it is 50% super, last 10, 12 classes, more than 50% attendance is a rarity nowadays in undergraduate. Postgraduate, full attendance till the last class. But undergraduate... And another thing you said, how do you motivate people who are not doing that well? I keep a track of those students. I call them to my room.
Okay.
And I said, what is your problem? Is it a professional problem? Is it a personal problem?
Language problem maybe?
It is a language problem. Yes. Is it a problem which is something bothering you mentally, which you want to talk about, or something really open up and start crying?
Oh.
He said, nobody has even put a shoulder on our, not even our parents.
Yes.
I feel emotional saying that. Yes. And I go to there and then pat them. And they said, you cannot imagine what help it is doing to me. I mean, nobody has done this to us.
They feel encouraged, probably.
Yeah, because everybody is looking down.
Right.
That, oh my, yeah, absolutely.
But you care. You said, no,
I'm worried. Because why?
Yes.
Why? I said, you are as good as anybody.
Yes.
Once you start thinking that you are no good, you will become no good.
Yes.
So think always that you are the best. It motivates them a lot. Some of them, not all, Manoj. It is impossible.
No, it can never be 100%.
Yeah.
But
and also, when I call them, I cannot force them to come to my room. So even if I call all of them, which are doing badly, not all of them show up.
If they come by their own volition, probably they don't listen to you.
So it is. I won't say that each and everybody comes to me. No.
But when they do,
you
give your best.
They improve. And they improve. They show improvement. So I think a little bit of handhold and counseling service is a name which some of students themselves have told me it attaches a stigma. So if we as a faculty member can be a little more proactive to the students, be a little more humane, and emotional,
Understand, show some empathy.
emotional bonding,
Yes.
you know, it does a lot of good to them. I've seen it over the years.
No, you've given such fantastic messages today to our colleagues, to our younger colleagues who have recently joined, how to go about doing things. One particular thing you said is nothing comes without hard work. You have to give your best, right? So this is absolutely fantastic. Would you like to give a message to our younger colleagues now that we're coming towards the end of this chat?
I think I've already sermonized a lot.
No, you did not sermonize. I think that would, you have said very nice things, but can you kind of conclude in a few sentences?
Just one sentence I can wrap up is teach by heart. That's it.
Whatever you do, your father said do with 100%, and you're saying teach.
As if your life depends on it.
Absolutely.
I said teach by heart, everything falls in place.
Well, Alok, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I'm sure our viewers will benefit a lot from the insights you have provided. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Manoj. Thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure. Thank you.